If you're applying your skincare products in the wrong order, you could be doing more harm than good, or you could just be not getting the most efficacy out of your products. I'm Dr. Afton Cobb. I'm a dual board certified dermatologist and Mohs surgeon, and today I'm going to go over the correct order of how to apply your skincare products. Does the order of your skincare routine actually matter? The answer is yes, it definitely matters. If you're gonna go through the effort of researching the right products, spending your money on them, you'll wanna make sure that your products will be able to work to their best potential. Before I move forward, make sure to hit the subscribe button, toggle the little bell icon so that you can get notifications every time I post a new video, and welcome to my YouTube community. In this video, I'm going to do a comprehensive overview of why products should be layered in different ways, so that way you know exactly when to use a product and why we might use it in that order. First things first, let's dive into the morning routine. One thing I want to make sure that I clarify before we go forward is that just because I'm talking about how to order all of these products and layer them on the skin, it doesn't mean that I think you should be using every single one of these products in your skincare routine. So regardless whether you're doing your skincare in the morning or at night, the first general principle for how to approach layering your skincare products is you want to start with the more lightweight to the more heavier occlusive products. So you want the more lightweight formulations such as solutions, gels, foams, serums. Those are going to want to come earlier in your skincare routine, and then at the end you layer on the more thicker things like your moisturizers, ointments, sunscreens. Those come later. Of course, when you start with any skincare routine, the cleansing parts are going to come first because you're going to wash them off the skin. So anything that needs to be washed off the skin, you'd start with first, so that way you can wash it off and leave the rest of them on top of that, which is pretty straightforward. Obviously, if you have a product that needs to be rinsed off, you're going to start with that product so that you can cleanse it off the skin and then put the products that need to stay in contact with the skin on after that, so you don't wash them off. Also, if you have a prescription topical, like something that your dermatologist gave you or your primary care provider, first of all, you want to ask that provider how they want you to be applying it, and whatever they say trumps whatever I'm saying in this visit because they're your doctor, not me. In general though, I like to have the prescription topicals put on first and earlier in the skincare routine because those are the ones that are going to be the most active, the most effective, and so you want to give those the best chance of being in contact with your skin. Certain over-the-counter products and skincare products can interfere with prescription products, so you want to make sure that you ask your physician before you add any other products into your skincare routine that might influence how your prescription medication works. Okay, first things first, morning routine. You wake up, you're getting ready to start your day. First thing you want to do actually is brush your teeth. It's really important to brush your teeth before doing the rest of your skincare routine because some of the residues from the toothpaste and the saliva can get on the skin, and you want to make sure that you wash those off. Toothpaste can sometimes cause perioral dermatitis, or it can also contribute to acne or skin irritation by keeping some of the saliva and debris on the skin. So definitely make sure that you brush your teeth first before starting your skincare routine. Next step, you want to wash off your face in the morning, remove all of the dirt, oils, impurities, products that you put on last night. So you start with a cleansing step. The first step is to use a cleanser to remove dirt, impurities, anything that accumulated overnight, stuff from your pillow. And sometimes I'll tell patients who are having a lot of problems with dryness and irritation, or we're using lots of other irritating products, sometimes I'll just have them wash their face with water and not use a cleanser in the morning. But either way, start with that cleansing, rinsing step first. After you cleanse the face, pat the skin dry with a clean washcloth, and then you can start the rest of your morning routine. It's important to use a gentle cleanser. A lot of times people are over cleansing their skin and over washing their skin, and if you use a lot of harsh ingredients like surfactants, it can impair the skin barrier and cause more irritation. It's also important to to use lukewarm water instead of very hot water. Hot water can be irritating to the skin as well. If you are using a cleanser or just using water, make sure to splash your face with water a couple times to really cleanse the face. And then when you're drying the face, just pat it dry. You don't want to do any harsh movements. You don't want to do any firm rubbing or anything like that that can also irritate the skin. Just be very gentle. After doing the cleansing step, the next step would be to use a toner. There's a lot of different opinions about toners. You know me, I'm more of a minimalist. I usually don't think that you need a toner necessarily, but toners can be helpful if you use ingredients like lactic acid, glycolic acid, anything like that that can help exfoliate the skin. But in general, the purpose of a toner is to restore the pH of the skin. And a lot of the gentle cleansers are now pH balanced. And so as long as you're using a nice cleanser or doing minimal cleansing, you really shouldn't need to be restoring the pH of the skin as much. If you're using harsh soaps, those can be more alkaline, and as a result, you might need a toner to restore that acidic balance. The skin is naturally a little bit acidic, and so that's what people will use a toner for. So if you're going to use a toner, it would come after the cleansing step, and you would just use a little cotton ball to apply it around the skin. Next, you'll start with any prescriptions. Obviously, you want to speak with your doctor first about how to apply them appropriately and whether or not it's okay to use other products while you're using the prescriptions. But I like to have those prescriptions coming early in the routine so that they're right there in contact with your skin so that you can get good penetration and get the most out of your prescription. If you're not using any prescription topicals, then the next step would be to use a serum, such as a vitamin C serum. Vitamin C can be really kind of finicky and hard to know if you're getting the full effect of it, but if you are using a vitamin C, you want to use it early in the skincare routine because you want it in close contact with the skin to be able to maximize the chances of actually getting utility out of it. Vitamin C should be used in the morning. One of the reasons why you use a vitamin C is because it has antioxidant properties, and so it can help fight free radical damage in the skin that's caused by the sun and pollution and everything in the world. So that's why we usually say use a vitamin C in the morning so that you have it on the skin to help prevent some of the damages that occur while we're walking around in our day-to-day life. So serums come first, particularly if you have a vitamin C ingredient, you want to have that come early in the skincare routine. So now you've done your cleansing, you've done a toner if you're using one, you've used a prescription if you're using that, a serum, a vitamin C. What next? So the next step is to use a moisturizer. Obviously, moisturizers are super important for any skincare routine, and it's because we are always trying to repair the skin barrier. When the skin barrier is impaired, we get transepidermal water loss, which means that the moisture in the skin is basically evaporating and leaving the skin. And that's where you start running into problems: dry, cracked skin, inflammation, irritation. So having a moisturizer in your routine is super important. And for the morning moisturizer, I usually just tell people get a daily tinted SPF moisturizer, and then you're going to be serving 3 goals. 1, you'll get the moisturizer. 2, you'll get the SPF UV protection. And 3, with the tint, you'll block visible light, which can help prevent brown spots, but also the tint can help kind of even out skin tone, and you might be able to get away with just using that instead of using makeups. One of the other benefits of using a moisturizer is that it actually forms like a protective shield on your face. And so there's pollution, dirt, anything in the environment. This moisturizer can also act as like a barrier for your skin to help protect it from all of these things that we're exposed to in our world. If you are wearing makeup, using a moisturizer can help to even out your skin's surface so that the makeup goes on more smoothly. Also, nobody wants flaky, dry skin, and a lot of the skincare products we use can cause some level of skin irritation and flakiness, and so if you use a good moisturizer, it will really help prevent a lot of these side effects that can happen from like topical retinoids. I'm sure we've all had the experience of having dry, flaky skin that we don't want to have on our face, so having a good moisturizer can help to minimize the appearance of any dry skin you're having, but can also help prevent it from happening, and can be really useful when you're using some of these other irritating ingredients like topical retinoids or glycolic acid, salicylic acid. All of these things can cause some level of irritation on the skin, so it's super important to have a good moisturizer. If you are going to use a separate sunscreen than your moisturizer, do the sunscreen last after your moisturizer. There's a lot of really good daily SPF moisturizers out there these days. My personal favorite is the ISDIN Tinted Mineral Sunscreen, and I use it every day as my moisturizer, and I don't wear any makeup because it has a little tint in it, and it has photolaces in it that help combat some of the damage that happens from UV exposure and pollution and all of that. So that's one of my personal favorites. I also think that La Roche-Posay does a really nice tinted mineral sunscreen, but you can find tons of them out there. It's all about your own personal preference. If you're using a separate sunscreen, we all know sunscreen is one of the most important steps in your routine. You definitely want to have some kind of daily SPF coverage that you're putting on your face and extending down to your neck and your chest. And that will help because you don't even realize how much you get cumulative exposure throughout the day-to-day of just driving in your car or walking around in town. And if you put that on every single day, you at least have a guarantee that you have some level of coverage every day, and that helps prevent you from getting into circumstances where you're out in the sun unexpectedly and you're like, oh no, now I'm getting burnt because I don't have anything on. So if you incorporate an SPF into your morning routine, you'll know that you have like an insurance policy of having it on every day. At this point, you should probably know that sunscreen is super important because the UV radiation from the sun can contribute to premature aging, so like sagging skin, brown spots, wrinkles, but also it can contribute to skin cancer. And so this is definitely one step you don't want to miss in your morning skincare routine. Finally, the last step would be putting on makeup. If you're going to use makeup, try and do so sparingly. Sometimes makeup can clog the pores, so look for makeups that are marketed as non-comedogenic. Those generally are better at minimizing breakouts from makeup. And in terms of getting makeups that contain SPF, I just want to make sure that you know that the powdered form of sunscreens, like the makeup sunscreens, those can be really nice as a reapplication throughout the day, but you don't want to use those as a standalone product as your only form of sunscreen. The brushes with the powdered sunscreen can be really helpful as an additional layer, but you don't want to use it as your only form of sun protection. And the final step is to put on a smile for the day. Now for the nighttime skincare routine. So the first step, like in the morning, do your teeth brushing first so that you remove any residue from your saliva and your toothpaste. The next step is to use a cleanser. This is super important for taking off makeup, dirt, oils, anything that's accumulated on your face during the day. By removing all of these things and doing a good cleansing in the evening, you'll achieve a couple goals. One, you'll make sure that when you layer on the rest of your products, they'll be able to come in contact with the skin. And two, it will make sure that you're not occluding dirt and oils and debris on the face, which can contribute to acne. So it's very important to remove everything from the day with a cleansing step at night. Some people are big fans of double cleansing. I would say if you wear a lot of makeup during the day, it might be worth doing double cleansing. If you don't wear a lot of makeup and you don't have a lot of residue on your face, you might be able to just do one step for the cleanser. And if you're going to use the double cleansing step, I would start by doing an oil-based cleanser that can really help remove makeup from the skin, and then you can follow that with a more water-based cleanser. I personally love micellar waters. I think they're really gentle. There's a lot of them out there these days. My personal favorite is the Bioderma one. I use that on myself every night, and that's my go-to. I also really like the new Eucerin micellar water product, and then there's some oil-based ones that I like as well. My personal favorite oil-based cleanser is one by Fig One, and it's a newer product line out there that a dermatologist who trained at Harvard created this line, and I actually knew her and met her on the interview trail a long time ago, and she sent me some of the products to try, and I went through the entire bottle of that, and it was my absolute favorite because it really helped remove everything but also helped restore hydration to the skin. So that's definitely one to check out, and I'm definitely not saying that just because she was my friend or anything like that. I actually think it's a really good product, so look out for that, the Fig One oil-based cleanser. Just like in the morning, the next step after cleansing would be to use a toner if you're going to use one, and you can look for toners that have hydrating ingredients like glycerin or ceramides or aloe vera. You can look for toners that have exfoliating ingredients like glycolic acid or lactic acid, and those can be helpful depending on what your skincare goals are. If you're looking for something to have a more brightening effect or something a little bit more moisturizing, and so it's something you certainly can incorporate into the routine. I definitely would not do a toner in the morning and in the nighttime. I think that's too much, and you really have to be careful with picking a toner to make sure that it's not too much of an astringent with a lot of alcohol content, or even sometimes witch hazel can sometimes be a little bit too much on the skin. The next step in the nighttime skincare routine, you would follow the same order of steps like I mentioned before in terms of most lightweight to more heavy and occlusive, but in general the next step would be to use your topical retinoid. We want to use topical retinoids at night because a lot of them can break down when they're exposed to light, so if you do it at night, you make sure that you're getting more use out of the retinoid and it's not just breaking down when it's exposed to the sun in the daylight. In terms of ordering your moisturizer and your topical retinoid, a lot of it will depend on how much side effects you're having. So if you're tolerating a topical retinoid totally fine and not having a lot of dryness, I would put your retinoid on after the cleansing and toning step. And the reason for that is then it will be the first thing that's on your skin. It will have a better chance at penetrating and doing the work that it needs, and the topical retinoids are your workhorse in your skincare routine, so you really want to make sure that this is something that you can incorporate. After that, then you apply the moisturizer. However, if you're having a lot of dryness and irritation, sometimes it makes more sense to do the moisturizer first and then the topical retinoid after that. And by doing that, you create a little barrier to the skin and you help the moisture of the skin stay intact by doing the moisturizer first and then putting the retinoid on top. If you're having a lot of dryness, sometimes people use the sandwich method and they put on another moisturizer on top of that. So that order is going to depend a little bit on your skin type and what kind of side effects you're experiencing from it. At this point, you might be questioning your own skincare routine. Hopefully this information was helpful to you and you can do some adjustments. Remember, in general, you want to layer your products from the most lightweight to more heavy at the end. And if you have any prescription products, first of all, you want to consult your prescribing physician and make sure that they know what other products you're using in your routine and see where they would like you to use it in your skincare routine. And in general, prescription products should go earlier in the routine so that they get more contact and penetration in the skin. Another thing to make sure is just read the instructions on the label. A lot of skincare products will tell you you when you're supposed to be using the product. So make sure that you're also following the instructions on the skincare product label. Hopefully by making these adjustments, you'll be able to get the most out of your skincare products, make the most out of your money, and minimize any side effects that you get from using products in the wrong order. If you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you can get notifications every time that I post a new video. Make sure to share with your friends, like the video, and if you have anything else that you'd like to ask me or things that you'd like me to discuss on the channel, make sure to pop them into the comments below. Thanks!